Welcome, boys and squirrels, to the Northern Outcast Outdoors podcast, The Outcast, your home for all things hunting, fishing, and ball busting related. Powered by Citizens Hunting Co., A&F Custom Calls, and Out on a Limb Manufacturing.
Well, we are on the second half of our 500th doubleheader, and this is episode point 2.0. So turkey season's over. 3D archery season's kind of kicking in for the summer here because that's about all we got other than fishing. And we just wrapped up the Total Archery Challenge down in Seven Springs, and we got our dude Kent. He's banging shit around down there. Kent is like we'll call him a satellite member at this point. I think
Kent's a homie, bro.
Kent's a homie. He's a homie of the Outcast.
He is.
Which, ironically enough, we met him through Total Archery Challenge.
Indeed. Kent, what's going on, buddy? How are you tonight?
I'm doing good, man. What's going on up there?
Nothing good.
Oh, there's a bunch of Bush Light cans all over the table, and some Old Crow, everything. And then there's like a sissy girl drink that Sabelli's been sipping on. I might put a nipple on it for him at some point, but
it's Louisiana Saturday night, as they say.
We're up here. We're having a good time. We figured we're going to recap TAC, and we figured why not get our boy Kent on the phone and chat you up a little bit. So here we are, man. Here we are.
Cool.
I mean, you shot both days this year. I was not there for both days.
I did. Yeah.
Chuck shot both days. Kent didn't. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Kent did not.
You had to give your thing to Jeff. That's right.
Yeah. So Kent unfortunately had something come up day 2, so he was only allowed to get that ass whooping for day 1 by me, and that was
it. Oh man, how long you've been waiting to say that, haven't you? Huh?
Since we hit record, buddy.
There is actually a clip in the video that we posted the other day. I think it was the second target. I don't remember what I said to you, but you turned around and kind of looked at me for a second and then kind of laughed. It was kind of the same thing right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
I put it in the video.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. It's funny though, because we shot this event last year, and it was the first year that we'd ever been there, and sure enough, Jeff shows up hammered drunk, hungover, with a 6-pack of White Claws inside. We're all going to hammer out a White Claw before we shoot the first target. You can't shoot until you drink the White Claw. Okay, whatever. So we're up on this giant boulder looking down at a 78-yard laying down ram up against a rock.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Picturesque day, too.
Gorgeous. And we're sitting there drinking our White Claws, and here comes rolling up all by himself my man Kent. And from that day forward, Kent, your life has changed because, of course, Booer, being the extrovert he is, decides to reach out and go, "Hey, bud, you shooting by yourself?" "Yeah." "Well, now you're not."
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's exactly
the
what
exact
he said.
words too.
and we shot last year together, and it was a blast. And then we decided, hey, why not shoot again next year? So
we stayed in touch.
Yeah,
I mean, since then, honestly, loosely, and I mean, that's kind of the essence of what's so awesome about it, especially around here too. Is
yeah, I thought it was cool
meeting great people.
Yep.
Truthfully.
And then even this year, it was the 3 of us shooting, and it was me, Kent, and Sam shooting this year. Booer's bow had some malfunctions, and he wasn't able to shoot, so he decided to bring the camera and focus on the video. And then we brought in 2 guys this year that were up again.
Same thing.
Same thing. 2 guys walking in. I think you asked them, do you like talking shit, or do you mind if people talk shit? And they're like, well,
Cody. Was it Cody? Pat and Cody.
Pat and Cody. Yeah.
And they were good sports. They're from what? Columbus, Ohio. Cincinnati or Columbus?
I think it was Columbus.
It was somewhere
maybe.
in Ohio.
Yeah. They were Ohio boys. And
No, they were from Cleveland.
That
Cleveland.
Was
the
Cleveland.
other C.
Yeah,
Yes.
I felt bad for him.
I felt bad for him a little bit too.
I did. Listen. I tried to behave myself, and I feel like I did a pretty good job halfway through when my boy Pat started whiffing. When I had the camera off, I don't know if you guys remember that whole thing. I started opening my mouth a little bit.
It's okay, maybe if I just record you, Pat, you'll actually hit the target.
You know what, though? He did.
He did. Yeah.
He did.
He turned it on. It seemed like, you're shooting with new people you don't know. You're a little uncomfortable, and you're not only are you uncomfortable, you're shooting 80 yards. You can easily miss targets.
Oh yeah.
In that kind of circumstance, and I think that was it for them guys. They had a little bit of a maybe 5-6 shot break-in period where they were like trying to fill us out.
Yeah.
Still maybe uncomfortable.
100 miles an hour right off the bat.
Yeah.
I mean, Kent, you were kind of the exception to the rule because, I mean, last year you kind of came in and like just started busting balls like immediately, and that's why I was like, he's all right.
Yeah, I'm used to that.
Yep. But, I was actually I feared this year, Kent, that you were going to come out hot, man. You'd been posting a lot of videos, you've been working on arrows, you've been shooting a little bit. Meanwhile, I come rolling in, just sighted in the morning before the event, and I thought you were going to give it to me, man. I don't know. I'm not sure what happened. You want to talk about what your mentality level was coming into this one?
Well, I think the driving up there like a maniac and coming up late had me a little wound up. The first 4 or 5 targets, and I was having some distance problems, and I figured out what the problem was. My string actually stretched, and I lost little feet per second on the bow, and so I had to crank my sight up about 4 or 5 yards on each target.
Damn, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I didn't really either until I got home. But
that's
so
not saying
once
you
I
shot
did,
bad either, though. That's the thing. You still
Well,
shot really good.
I was shooting low in the beginning. I mean, I shot low on like the first 5.
Yep. I remember we talked about that. It was like, yeah, maybe it's because it's uphill, but dude, honestly, every target you've been hitting low, like left and right, perfect, but you've been low. I mean, you probably could bump that thing up a little bit. And I think you did. I mean, you kind of figured out something because, one, the first problem was that. Second problem was we were using kind of my rangefinder, but it was off maybe a yard and a half from where your rangefinder was telling you. So that was another issue that was kind of hitting you low. And then, like you said, you rushed to get there. You got there like last minute, jump on the little shuttle and then go. And that's never good either. That's you got to get that adrenaline down. You got to get that, calmed in.
Yeah, I mean,
glad you gave me about a 7 target head start.
Well, it wasn't. Well, I mean, it is what it is. No excuses. But that definitely didn't help me. But I mean, I did settle down and shoot pretty well. And then the last 3 targets, I missed that fish.
Mm-hmm.
That fish was brutal. I didn't realize that was actually a fish till I was looking at the footage later. And I remember I was editing the video and I go, that was a big ass fish up on that rock.
You know what? It was pretty cool because in the video I got to see my arrow fly across the lake and hit the rock right in front of the fish.
I did. I put that in slow-mo for you.
I appreciate that.
Your arrow was the most visible arrow, and it was such a freaky target. I was like, I got to put it in there.
Yeah, and his arrow flight looks so good.
Well, the crazy part was it like the part that broke went underneath. You could see it go into the trees back behind it. I was like, holy shit, that was cool.
It looked so good until it hit the rock.
I don't know if it was the buffalo or the antelope. I was like, but Kent, man, that arrow flight looked great.
It was the buffalo.
I'm like, dude, honestly, I'm like, that arrow flew great.
Everybody turned around and looked at you and went, shut up, Josh.
Just shut the hell up, dick.
Right.
I was like, I'm serious.
As you shot it in the ankle.
I didn't even hit it. Remember, I thought I hit it too, and we all heard something hit.
Yeah, you hit it in the front ankle, and was it
No,
Cody?
Pat and Cody
hit
both hit. Yeah,
and the legs.
Yeah, they were the only 2 to hit the buffalo.
I showed it to the kid I work with. He's an archery hunter too, and I showed him in the video. I was like, dude, this buffalo was like completely insane. Ken was talking about it. He's like, hey man, these guys I was shooting with yesterday these dudes I heard talking said that this buffalo is like the worst thing of the whole shoot. And we came up to it, and it's like across a valley, like literally the whole way across a valley,
26 yards. Straight uphill.
They shot, everybody shot or whatever. But in the video, you walk up and you see it's got one in both ankles.
Oh man!
After I reflected on the day, the next day, I wasn't really wild about that course.
Yeah,
I liked the Sitka course last year better, and I liked Knock On better than that one. Just me. I don't know. How'd you guys like Knock On this year?
Oh, dude, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was insane. When I thought that was a little tougher, what we shot, and then I shot Knock On, I went, oh my God, every single target you walk up and go, wow, that is fucked up. Like, who sets that up that way? Dude, an 81-yard gopher on the other side of a pond with all rock backdrop?
Yeah.
That thing had to be maybe 18 inches tall and 6 inches wide.
I mean, they kind of have at least, I felt like two of those, three to four of those targets in each course.
Yeah, Knock On all 25.
All of them, yeah. The
insane.
rabbit in the river last year.
Yeah.
There's another video I just watched from last year that had the rabbit in there. Kent knows what I'm talking about, that snowshoe hare in the river. And then this year was that one that had if the wind was even blowing a little bit, that tree branch came up in front of the target. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was honestly, in my opinion, I didn't shoot it, so I can't really say it, but I was there. That was probably, in my opinion, the worst target of the whole thing.
So basically all of Knock On was like that target. It took us longer on some of the targets to find the target. When you got to the cone, I mean, we're literally looking. You had to basically, with your eyes, you had to follow the walking trail that everybody else took to find the target.
Yeah, because that one, the dudes, it kind of went to, the trail went to the right of ways, and then it cut back to the left, and the dudes were walking to the right. I was like, it's got to be over there somewhere. And I remember looking, they all cut to the left. I'm like, where the hell is this thing at? And then you literally look through the leaves of the trees, over the the hillside there, and you're like, oh shit, there's a buck over there somewhere.
Yeah.
I think it was 65 yards or something, 64 yards, Sam said.
I think, 64.
But basically, if the wind stopped, this tree branch floated up in front of the target.
Yeah, it was one way or the other. I don't know if it was the wind blew it up
Something.
or the wind dropped it down,
didn't
but
take much
either
one
way,
or the other.
Everybody shot, and then Kent went up last, and the branches went up in front of the target again. And I'm like, oh man, you don't got to take that shot. But how long do you wait? Because already we were behind. The next group was standing right there. It's like, what do you do? But yeah.
Luckily, they were cool dudes too. I mean, the group that was directly behind us absorbed into us, Pat and Cody. But the dudes behind us from West Virginia, they were thankfully cool ass dudes.
Yep.
And actually, the dudes in front of us from Philly were cool as shit too, which is honestly kind of a blessing.
Yeah, everybody's pretty cool at that event.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really run into any jerks.
No.
We haven't yet.
Thankfully.
In 2 years, yeah. I mean, except for that one Kent guy from year one, he was kind of a jerk.
Someone from Beaver.
That Beaver. Just leave it up to someone from Beaver to be. Yeah.
Right.
But you know what? I do want to take it back a little bit, and we'll get more in depth on that. But I want to know, Kent, what got you started into shooting tack? When did you first start shooting tack? Was it last year, your first year? And what made you decide to do it?
Last year was my first year, and I just watching it on Instagram and, seeing what it was all about. I just wanted to try it. So, I think that the first year I tried to go, it was canceled.
Yeah.
Because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to go that year, and then it got canceled. And I just wanted to give it a go. I mean, I asked some guys on Instagram what it was like, and they loved it. So I figured, why not?
Yeah.
And I definitely wasn't disappointed. I mean, it is a challenge. There's no question. I mean, it's not just the targets are long. There's a lot of hiking, a lot of walking.
Oh, yeah.
By the end of the day, you're pretty tired. So
I think last year we covered more miles. I mean, it's
probably
it's
about
not
the same. Maybe a little longer.
I mean, it's not like a small jaunt through the woods.
No.
You cover a few miles.
We did 6.5 that day.
Last year or this year?
This year.
I didn't keep track. Last year I kept track.
Yeah.
This year I didn't.
This year we did at least 6.5 miles.
It didn't seem as long as last year. Though.
Yeah. It was kind of different. I mean, I feel like last year, I don't know, it seemed like we had more hiking between targets and spots maybe. Threw it off. But
yeah, you know what the difference was this year? It was all uphill.
Yep.
There was a lot more uphill shots, no doubt.
It was walking uphill too.
Yeah.
There was a lot of side hilling. We'd go uphill, downhill. There was definitely a lot of side hilling and a lot of uphill walking. Yeah, how about that one down in the creek that we had to go all the way down into?
Yeah, me and Kent didn't get down there.
Dude, I mean,
I looked at him. I said, I know your knees are bad. I go, mine ain't far behind you, my guy. We'll go down the trail.
Yeah, I wasn't going down there. No.
Dude, that was insane. You were literally sliding down the hill to get to the target. And that was the only way to get down there.
I mean, it was awesome. No doubt. I mean, it's cool that they like put that kind of stuff up because I mean
it's about as extreme as you're gonna get.
Yeah, I mean, like when you go out hunting and you're doing your thing, you're not going to get the perfect shot, which is kind of cool. That they put like that kind of challenge on it.
No, but I'm glad you bring that up because this in no way, shape, or form, I would say, totally like reflects a shot you would take, an ethical shot you would take in archery season. I don't think
ethical is the key word there.
Yeah, because they are pretty messed up, a lot of them. I mean, some are wide open, 60, 70-yard shots. Yeah, there's a rock in the background or a pond or, something, but you could take a shot like that out west.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I think we're in the same boat as Kent here. Geoff is actually the one that kind of forced us into it because he bought his entry into it the year.
COVID year, me and Jeff were going to do it because Jeff had found out about it kind of the same way Kent did. And he said, he was like, hey, dude, I'm doing this thing. And
he bought it. He put his money down.
Me and him both did.
Yeah. And then there was like,
screwed out
they gave you the free entry into last year.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, well, if you guys are going, I'm going to go too. Why not? I had wanted to go for at least 2 years prior to that, just kind of watching videos and seeing like Kent's saying on Instagram, people are posting pictures. And honestly, I was like, dude, I don't want to go lose a bunch of arrows. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I wasn't comfortable with it, but I'm glad I did. I honestly am. I think is probably one of the most amazing 3D archery shoots that I'll ever shoot.
I mean, it's well put together. It's well run. There's, they have like a legitimate staff that travels with them that like takes care of all this stuff. So, I mean, it's not like some rinky dink bullshit.
Yeah. Great targets. They really do get creative on some of them and they make them really, really messed up. I mean, you shoot knock on and you'll know how messed up someone's imagination can get.
I mean, it's John Dudley putting those together.
Yeah.
For the most part. He has final say on that course from what I understand.
He's a sick, hilarious individual as well. So just shooting beside him was pretty cool. Kind of shooting.
Oh, you guys got to shoot with him?
Yeah, he was set up at the second target on knock on, and it was a 106-yard Yeti, stand-up Yeti, and he was actually drawing back and shooting with us at the same time. But like, it was pretty cool. He made us all kind of shoot together at once, and it was fun. He was telling us right where to aim, how high to aim, depending on what your setup was, everything. It was pretty cool.
Kent, you actually had a funny ass story. When we met you, you were telling us because you shot knock on the day before you met us, and that one dude with the whisker biscuit. You were telling us that story about that shit was funny as hell.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, Dudley comes walking through the woods, and it was raining, and it was kind of foggy, and he's like, how he is. He's like, hey, dude, what's going on? So we started talking to him, and he wanted to look at all of our bows, and the one guy was a hardcore Knock On Nation guy. He had all of Dudley's stuff on his bow. And then the other guy he was shooting with, he had a whisker biscuit. And Dudley looked at him and he said, dude, your whisker biscuit, man, it's blown out. He's just like, because I looked at it, it was like nothing left of this thing. I mean, it was like
it's like 6 whiskers.
There's freaking arrows flopping around in there, and he's just Dudley's just like looking at this thing like it was like some kind of a creature. It was pretty funny. It was. Yeah, I forgot all about that. Yeah, dude, your whisker biscuit's blown out.
He's a pretty cool dude. He's funny.
He talked to us he was there. I bet he hung out for like 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a pretty funny dude.
He didn't have his bow with him, but he watched the shoot and
Yeah. I would say the knock-on course almost has to be one of the two if we do a 2-day moving forward.
Just for him,
for the fun of the actual course. Like Kent's saying, it's so enjoyable. A lot of the shots too are pretty flattish. They're just challenging.
Yeah,
like obstacles. They put him behind trees and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that was more like Western Pennsylvania whitetail hunting.
Yeah,
I guess maybe that's why I liked it better. Not all the targets are whitetail, but you know what I mean? They're in the woods and it's challenging shots versus, 95 yards straight uphill.
Right.
Yeah, I think we shot the Prime this year.
Correct.
This year I felt was more distance focused than Sitka last year. Sitka had a couple challenging ones in there because I shot Sitka last year, so I guess I have kind of an opinion, but I feel like the Prime course this year was more distance based than actual challenge based, if that makes any sense.
I think they were very similar, Sitka and Prime.
Ish.
I just think that the layout in Sitka was better than Prime, in my opinion.
There was a lot more light to dark, like standing in direct sunlight, shooting into shade this year, or vice versa, standing in shade, shooting in direct sunlight, which is, kind of the opposite. Or like, I forget what target it was, but when we were going down that big power line, there was that
black bear, or was
the
it a
shot
pig?
before it when we were standing like in the midday sun, and I mean it was brutal out, and like it's under those overhanging limbs over there in complete darkness.
Yeah, that was the one Pat blew up his arrow on that rock.
I'm pretty sure
he shot it. Yeah, we were basically shooting at really the pink ribbon hanging on the animal's body, but then when you drew back, you couldn't even see the ribbon, so you're just aiming at a big. Shadow.
Naked eye. Binoculars didn't matter. You couldn't see that thing down there. That was a rough shot. There was a lot of that and a lot of just distance for the sake of distance. I feel like
distance and uphill, a lot of uphill, like Kent said too, like walking uphill, and we went through that little stretch though.
Meat and potatoes, like the first 10 targets. I felt like when we were in the open slopes, there was just uphill bombs.
More or less.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't anything, there was no character to any of like the setups. Like there in the first half, I felt like, I can't speak for everybody. That was kind of my vibe.
Definitely somewhat bland, but
yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at.
It was a little bland. It was definitely tough. Obviously, it was still very hard. Everybody missed targets. It's not like anybody hit them all by any means, but it was a fun course. It was still fun. And I think you got to have the 2-day experience to really fully get a good tack experience, in my opinion. I had a blast doing 2 days. I really did.
I was so bummed I couldn't make a day. I mean, my work schedule sucks.
You have to see Knock On. Like this year, Knock On was, I can't stop thinking about how creative they got and how absolutely sick-minded these people are.
I'm telling you, man, it's a tough course. I agree. I'm sure it's probably similar to last year, and I felt the same way.
Yep.
I mean, I probably lost 5 arrows on that course.
That would easily be done on that course. Honest to God, easily. There was at least 5 targets that if you missed, there was no getting your arrow back. I mean, there wasn't. The first target right off the bat is like a 57-yard baby black bear standing upright. Yeah. And only half of his body was exposed.
Yeah.
Sam pulled his shot left, first target right out the gate.
See ya.
Shot it left. It hit in this reclaimed coal area and ramped up the hill. It was the funniest thing. It was like Speed Racer. You're watching his arrow hit and ramp up the hill, and you watched it just go into the abyss.
Oh my God.
Just straight up gone forever. Forever.
There was one target. And in the video, I don't know if you can realize that it's going on, but I was asking Chuck about the score, and he was kind of adding things up, and that Cody kid was shooting. And I want to say it was either the shot before or after the tree limb shot we were talking about earlier. And he let one rip, and he must have punched it or something, and it went high, and it sounded like it just went through trees for 3 years. just
It's still going, man.
It's in low Earth orbit right now. And I remember I was asking Chuck about the score, and everybody else just kind of looked to the side for a second to hear it going through the trees. And you just kind of went back to normal, it didn't happen,
I'm just glad that Sam had a Kent moment on this one where he sent one sailing.
Well, he sent one straight into the ground first, which was actually kind of sketchy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, letting down, and
it
went off. He was probably 3/4 of the way, if not better, down.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it just released the arrow and shot right into the ground at his feet, basically.
Yeah, he's lucky he didn't fuck himself up, honestly.
Maybe 10 feet in front of him or something, that arrow was. Yikes. Yeah. Too close for comfort.
Dude, mine was way better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yours was...
Yeah, but if you remember, now, the only difference is he hit a tree, Kent, on his one.
You hit 30 trees.
You hit just the
30 trees.
Straight leaves.
I was at a 45-degree angle when that thing went off. That arrow was a rocket ship, man. It was like a cruise missile.
You turned around, just absolute shame on your face.
That arrow went into orbit.
I remember I just like I whiffed on that target bad too, and I like crimpled my arrow too, like right before you shot, and I was like, "Yep." This was last year we're talking about.
Last year, yeah, but this year, Sam had drawn back, and he was coming down on the target, and as he was coming down, he accidentally was moving his thumb from behind his thumb release to the front, and hit it, and it let that arrow go like 6 to 10 feet over the back of the target, but it hit square into a big ass tree behind it, like thunk right into it. So it didn't have
this was the day I was there.
Yeah, it didn't have the effect of Kent's, just
like through the
sticks. But it was still pretty good. But yeah, man, it was honestly a fun event.
One of my favorite shots is, I think it was Pat. He somehow hit that tree and that arrow flew sideways.
Oh, off that rock. He sent it right over the top under that rock.
Oh, and it just like went straight left.
Completely like 90-degree angle.
Yeah. And then he was actually looking for it.
Yeah,
I was like, dude,
but
that thing's
arrow's
about
gone.
50 pieces.
Yeah, but that arrow's not.
He did hit a tree. He did hit a tree on the way in.
It was something crazy.
Yeah, it was going in towards the target. It was tracking in. All of a sudden, it hit this little tree and just like straight 90-degree into like 14 pieces. It just shattered, and they're over there looking for it. They're just picking up remains.
I loved it.
I remember Kent saying, "Are they really looking for that arrow?"
Oh my god!
Seriously, man. Anybody, if you've ever done that, you know it's in multiple pieces.
Oh yeah, there ain't. Just leave it. Just don't even bother.
Yeah, just walk away.
I forget whose podcast it was I was listening to like a year or two ago, but Jocko was on it. Jocko Willing, and he was talking about shooting tack with Dudley, and I forget what tack it was. Probably Colorado, one of the bigger-ish ones. And he was just talking about, he says, everybody that shoots this needs to have at least one person that has no fear, that like just sends carnage into tree. Like, you know, he starts like talking like real like excited. And he has yeah, you need to just have some. And he's talking about it, and he's like, you need that one person that just doesn't give a shit, that just, you know, carnage into the trees. And he goes, when arrows are blowing up, he goes, that's the most fun. He goes, that's so awesome. He goes, when people were just out there having a blast, you know. And I was like, there's some truth to that, without a doubt. You know, there is some absolute truth. No, I mean, nobody wants to lose an arrow, but.
No, but there was how many targets, too, where you were literally shooting through the blown out pieces of a tree in front that you're supposed to miss.
Yeah.
But so many people had hit them that it was just shattered. Like, it was just sprayed open.
The caribou last year, I think, was the best example I could think of that, because there was 2 trees, and it was from your feet to about 10 feet to 12 feet up in the air of just solid shafts.
Yeah. The whole littered. Yep. That was a good one.
That's classic. I got pictures of that.
Yeah, and I mean, that was what, 120 something, 130 yards?
132, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was in downhill. I mean, it was no chip shot, no doubt.
There were arrows everywhere.
But everybody that shot hit it. I was the only one that didn't shoot because I don't have a pin for that far.
Yeah.
But everybody that shot from our group hit it.
Yeah, we did. It was pure luck, but I think the difference there was downhill, not uphill. Like the buffalo was 126. And only those 2 other guys hit it. You know, myself, Sam, and Kent missed. But, like, dude, that was straight uphill. That was with the wind whipping. That was a ridiculous shot.
The video didn't do that target justice at all. It didn't do. And I knew it wouldn't, because it was. I mean, it was just such a crazy thing, because it was wide open across a fucking valley, like a legitimate valley.
Yeah,
I mean, it was wild.
Well, Kent, before we got to let you go, because I know you got to run, buddy, and I don't want to keep you too long. Any closing thoughts? You want to shoot this event next year again, or what you thinking, man?
Yeah, I'm definitely shooting it again.
Okay.
You know, I think my favorite part of TAC, as I figured you may ask me, I said actually the people you meet there. I mean, I have been there 2 years, and I've not met one person that's a jerk.
Yep.
Obnoxious person who bitched or something, someone like you see on a golf course or something, complain. I mean, no one. Everyone's courteous, they're nice, and I mean, that's really, really awesome. So I think that's really my favorite part, you know, and obviously the archery is awesome. If you want to go somewhere and shoot and have a great time, as long as you don't worry about your arrows.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
yeah. Don't be too attached to your arrows.
I was definitely more prepared this year than last year. I didn't know what to expect, and
Right.
I mean, I didn't practice that long. I mean, I didn't shoot that long this year. Maybe 80-yard shots. I shot some, but I mean, which is like a medium-sized length shot there. So,
Right.
yeah. But that's
like
just
the
way
average.
Yeah, you just got to suck it up and make it happen. So,
Yep.
But yeah, no, it's definitely something that I would do every year. Next year, I definitely want to do knock on. Unfortunately, I couldn't come on Sunday this year, but definitely a 2-day thing. Last year I did 2 days, so
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah, I think we do the 2 days again next year and make sure knock on's one of them, and then we'll just pick another one.
Oh,
That's all. Kind of combine them.
I think that hopefully their website will work better next year, and we'll be able to do a group thing. Like this year, that was just like
chaos.
Yeah.
Felt like you were applying for a doe tag in PA. It was just like at midnight hitting the refresh button, like it was pretty wild. I mean, we had all that trouble emailing them to get the same time. Like it was kind of fucked up, actually.
It was a little messy.
It was.
Glad you missed my little. I may have had a little mental hissy fit breakdown on the last one on Sunday after.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, it was a mental breakdown. It was pretty hilarious. I made it funny. I kicked the cone like 20 yards down the hill.
That's nice.
He started acting like me.
That sounds like being a little bit upset.
It was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious.
Started acting like me. You've been hanging around me too long.
Look, I'll break it down for you real quick since you haven't heard this. We went down into the last target. Sam was up 2. I was in second, and Jeff was behind me by 1. Sam shot first. He hit an 8, we figured. It's like a 53-yard chip shot, pretty open, kind of downhill on like a pig or something. It was easy money. Like I'm like, all right, I'm putting mine just above his. He missed it by like 2 inches. I'm settling the pin in. I let it loose, and the only thing I can figure is I did not have my arrow rested all the way down to my rest. That thing sailed like 3 feet over the back of the target. I missed completely. Like completely missed. And of course I lost. But at the same sense, I thought I lost that arrow. Like that arrow's gone forever. I was just heated. I was like, what the hell happened? Everyone, literally everybody had just got super quiet, like eyes wide open, because I'd been shooting. I had missed the least out of everybody there. Like I'd been shooting great the whole time. And then I go and sail one 3 feet over the back, and everyone's just like, oh, what the fuck did you just do? And I turned and I just ninja kicked that cone 20 feet off the hill. I said, fuck that cone. Oh man, I was so mad, but like not really mad, because that was the very last target. I was just bummed that I lost, but at the same time it was hilarious. I made a nice little funny hissy out of it, and we went on with our day, and it was all good. I found my arrow. I actually found it. It was sitting right behind the target. It must have hit something. It was like laying facing back towards us, so I was happy after I found my arrow.
So it was that close. And then who won?
Sam won. Jeff did 10 ring, but he ended up losing by 1. So Jeff 10 ringed, Sam 8 ringed, and then I missed, so I ended up coming in third.
Jeff was kind of giving me the rundown.
Yeah.
And I was actually surprised it was that close, because Jeff's tough.
Sam must have been shooting well.
You know what's funny about that? Sam missed 5 targets, and up to that point, I had only missed 2. And he was beating me. Yeah, so the ones he hit, he was putting up numbers, 10 rings, 12 rings. See, that's the thing
with Sam every time, is he'll miss a few, but the ones he hits are 10 rings.
Yeah, and me, I'm just putting it in foam. So I'm a lot of 5s, 8s, 10s. Like I didn't shoot terrible by any means, but he shot really well on the one targets that he made a run where it was just like 10, 10, 8, 8, 10, 12. And then Jeff had some issues.
He said he basically had his bow completely apart in the middle of the course.
He was guessing range distances at some point because he was shooting like same as you. He was probably 4 or 5 yards lower than what he needed to be, and so he was kind of Kentucky windaging it. But he's the only one that hit the groundhog at 81 yards. So more power to him. But That son of a bitch, yeah. He ended up finishing second.
Usually it seems like Jeff is kind of the, like, I mean, he is probably the best shot out of all of us. Like, black
in that
and white.
kind of situation, yeah.
Not to pump him up, because fuck him. But usually it's kind of Jeff, and then me and Chucky are the ones that are, like, kind of beating each other up below him. Usually.
Typically. Depend like last year, me and Jeff went back and forth. He beat me at TAC. I beat the snot out of him at Possum Hollow.
Yeah.
And then Camo Cares came down to last target.
Yeah.
And again, I
and
sailed one.
That was
remember?
the three of us on Camo Cares.
Yeah, and I did the same thing. It sailed like 2 feet over its
I was
back.
actually like madder than a Louisiana catfish at a
We
freaking
won't
Sunday
get into
fish
that.
fry. But
We gotta
yeah.
let Kent go. We can't get into that, but
Yeah.
Kent, appreciate you, buddy. Really do. Appreciate you shooting with us. And next year we're gonna do it all over again.
I mean, he's going to be a
Yeah.
Camo Cares.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'll be at Camo Care, so I'm looking forward to that.
It's a good time. It's probably the best local event, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, it's for a good cause. Still,
I'll hit
obviously.
you up. We'll talk about the details to that one as well.
Yeah, I'm looking for a little revenge there. I'm hoping you sail a few.
Well,
It's always helpful.
Daddy's going to be shooting that one, so
Man.
I'm gonna have to make sure you don't sneak out your rangefinder.
yeah, there is no rangefinders
Yep,
for that
no
shit.
rangefinders.
Yeah.
Is Sam shooting?
Yeah, cheating son of a bitch.
Uh-huh.
He's gonna have to turn that rangefinder off.
Yeah, I told him all you gotta do is use the fix pins, because you know how his has that fix pin option where you double
Right.
tap it. So he can still
Right.
shoot it, but he's got to use the fix pins. I agree. He doesn't count. We actually didn't even count his score last year.
No, we didn't.
He wasn't allowed to be in the competition because of his sight.
I think, Kent, you're going to be shooting with me, my brother, and Geoff, so that's actually kind of a brutal group to shoot with, to be honest with you.
Is that the shit talking group?
Yeah, my younger
Yeah.
brother potentially too, and then Sam may be shooting with us. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we have
we
10
gotta-
guys, so we got to split it 5 and 5.
Yeah, we got a really, really good group of dudes shooting this year. I mean,
It'll be
we're
fun.
no slouches. There's no slouches in our group at all.
It's gonna be good. Honestly, I
It'll
think
be-
my younger brother's probably the best shot out of the group. He is a stud when it comes to shooting bow. So
Yeah, Joey's not bad.
He's-
Joey's real solid.
he's
actually.
pretty freaking solid, but he always sneaks in there and beats us. Like
I would
last
put
year.
him and Geoff on the same level. Honestly, I
Yeah.
really would. Joey's just more consistent.
Yeah.
Like, he'll hit 8s the entire day, where Jeff will hit those couple 10s. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
Joey's just steady as she goes.
Yep. But we'll see you here in a couple weeks there, buddy.
All right, guys. Listen, I appreciate it. You guys have a great night.
Hey, thanks
Heck
for
yeah,
coming
man.
on, Kent, as always.
We'll see you.
Yep.
Thanks,
Later.
man. Bye. Kent is off. We can keep going.
Kent's the man.
Kent is the man.
That was such a funny thing, us meeting him, honestly. I mean, not meeting him, but
Pure coincidence that he walked into our lives.
in a literal sense, walked into our lives.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I have bad habits, Chuck.
It's okay.
I mean,
It's okay.
I'm going to take credit for Kent.
Yeah, Kent's a good dude. Honest to God, he is a good ass dude. Took it like a sportsman. Man, I gave him a couple jabs out there. We were back and
yeah.
forth, just busting each other's balls like good old buddies, right?
At first, I was kind of leery about, I mean, because people that know us, we are a shit talking group of sketty legging motherfuckers. Without a doubt. I mean, we are some like foul mouthed idiots. Without a doubt, you know?
Yeah.
And the fact that he came over that hill and we're all sitting there freaking chugging a beer, you know, or White Claw,
Yeah,
whatever it
White
was.
Claw, not a beer. Don't
Yeah,
say beer.
well, Jeff had it, so I mean, I can't like downgrade myself on that. But, you know, I mean, he saw what was going on and he still came along for the ride.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's a bro.
He literally could have just been like, "No, I'm good, man. But do you mind if I shoot through?" Like he could have said that.
Could have. Yeah.
He could have went off on his own
Yeah.
and found another group of idiots to shoot with, but
Yeah.
he picked us idiots.
He did pick us idiots, which was
Fate
awesome.
brought us idiots
I
together.
kind of didn't give him a choice, like verbally,
I-
when I did.
I'm pretty sure I was verbatim, like word from word, actually. Word from word could have went on the record with what I replayed that in my mind.
Yeah. I mean, I remember I was like sitting on that big, like there's those couple rocks and I was sitting on that one rock and I think either you or Jeff you were beside me and then Jeff and Sam were in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I turned to my right and he was just kind of standing there. I was like, "You shooting by yourself?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "Not anymore."
All right, then.
And he's like, okay. They just kind of shrugged and was like, okay. That's literally how it happened.
Yeah, we were homies from the start, 100%.
He's a honorary member. He's an honorary Outcast, satellite Outcast.
I mean, he's from Beaver County. Come on, man.
It's close enough.
It's that's our blood, you know.
Yeah,
our blood runs through Beaver County.
Yeah,
in certain parts of the year. So yeah, he's a good folk, and I can't wait for Camo Cares. That's going to be a good time, good shoot. But man, TAC, I'll tell you what, if anyone's out there and they're thinking they want to go to TAC, and you've listened to this episode at this point, maybe we've turned you off.
Watch the video.
Oh yeah, go to YouTube, watch the video.
Either of the videos,
dude. It is a blast. I mean, we have so much fun. I'll tell you what, Sam blew up 10 arrows this year in 2 days. 10.
He lost a few last year.
I mean, he's shooting a super kind of like heavy
he
FOC.
Has, out of everybody, the highest end. I mean, he's got the big Garmin sight on there. He's got a brand new Matthews. Like, he doesn't have cheap shit. And this is not saying he's a bad shot either, because
he's not.
It's that challenging.
It is.
It is that challenging.
Yeah.
I mean, last year, like I said, I don't have a pin that goes out past 100 yards. So,
right.
like, there was 5 targets.
Last year.
5-6 targets. I couldn't even shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And I still yeeted a couple arrows at like 70, 80 yards.
I think what we need to do, though, if that happens again, is just move up and shoot from what you can shoot from. Because I was talking to the Rutten River boys, and they went with a group with a couple women that could only shoot, so far.
Yeah.
They just move up and they made the course their course.
Yeah.
Right? They made it what worked for them. But I'll tell you what, some of them shots,
you ain't moving up. No, you ain't.
Because you wouldn't see the target.
No. And
you'd have to make your own shot.
My pride, I don't know.
I get it.
You know me better than most people, and it wouldn't let me. But I get that, and that's cool though. It's cool that they do shit like that. You know what I mean? Like
that's what I mean. If you're listening to this and you want to do it, make that event what you want to make it. You don't have to shoot 126 yards.
It is intimidating looking on that website. When you're registering and seeing 60 to 120 yards, it is intimidating. I will not lie to you, but
it's worth every minute, man.
It is awesome. Like it, and we're not sponsored to pay by these people to like say this shit. It is really that good of an event.
It is. It's worth every penny. You're going to get a great experience shooting. You're going to have a lot of fun shooting. You're going to have a lot of fun with the people you meet, people you talk to. Like Kent said, his favorite part of the event in 2 years was the people he met and the people he sees down there.
I will double down on that because look at what happened at that event. We've met nothing but good people there from across the state.
Every single one of them.
Multiple states. Guess what? We went to the local one. We almost got in a fist fight with it.
Yeah. You even tried to get me arrested by Border Control at this year's event.
Border Patrol.
Border Patrol.
Listen, I turned around. Well, first when we walked up, I mean, there's the shooting line you can walk up at.
The only part that is intimidating in that entire event is that shooting line.
Yeah, because there's 60, 70 dudes.
Yep.
You're standing there, and, everybody kind of goes up like firing squad.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, that's the thumbnail of our video for that is the firing line.
Yeah.
Everybody's up there, and you don't know what everybody else is shooting at. You're just picking a target and shooting at it.
You don't want to be the guy that misses looking for your arrow while everyone else is waiting at the line to shoot the next round.
So you're standing there, and I remember we walked up, and there's a guy in OD green pants, shirt, bulletproof vest, Border Patrol, bright yellow letters. The first words out of my mouth were, "Why in the hell is the Border Patrol at Seven Springs, Pennsylvania?" Right? So Chuck immediately looks over and he goes, "Oh my God." Right? So we're standing there waiting for Kent to show up because he was running a couple minutes late. And I was like, "Why is the Border Patrol?" And he's kind of just like milling around, and he's like talking to these 3 dudes like over to our left. And I'm like, "Okay, whatever." So we're just kind of standing there like just killing time. Like we're not doing anything. We're not shooting. We're not anything. And this guy turns around, looks straight at us, and walks right over. And I go, "Oh my God, we're about to get questioned about something. Like something's not right." And he comes over, shakes our hands. He goes, "I'm so-and-so with the United States Border Patrol. I'm based out of Washington, D.C. And he's like, "Do you guys..." Basically, he was trying to recruit people. He's recruiting.
Like,
and I'm like,
recruiting.
And I'm like, "Oh my God." So then the next thing he says is, "Do you guys have an email address I could send information to?" And he was looking at Chuck when he said it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just straight up like Homer Simpson in that one meme where he like slips backward, like he disappears in the bush.
Back into the hedges.
I just like,
you slinked away. I'm like,
out.
you son of a bitch, dude.
So Chucky and Sam lassoed. They're in tight. So I'm like,
Cut you
yeah,
away.
I ain't about that.
Real
you
good
know?
dude, though. Honest to God, he was a really good, solid guy.
I actually feel really bad for those guys.
Yeah.
Like,
So if anyone's looking for a job, they're
the
hiring.
Border Patrol's
hiring. It's not just at the border, guys. They're in D.C.
yeah, this guy's like, yeah, I drove all the way from Washington, and I'm like, you're an idiot.
Poor guy.
Poor guy.
He was a hell of a dude. A hell of a dude. Really cool dude. And yeah, it was a good conversation. I never got an email, so I'm pretty sure he was just doing a background check on me or something.
100%.
Sure.
That's why I didn't want him to find out my war crimes in Yugoslavia, so I dipped. You know what I mean? But that's a different story.
That's the story for another podcast. But yeah, go. The whole moral of this is go shoot the event. Go down to the event, even if you can't get on and register. Because if you don't look it up and you're not on the minute it goes open,
it's tough.
You're probably not going to get a spot
or a good spot. I mean,
yeah, you could shoot the afternoons.
It's free to go there. If you don't shoot, it is free to show up there. They got like their little village of vendors.
Yep.
Every big name, Mystery Ranch, Kafaru, Tethered, Black Rifle Coffee, which still waiting to hear a reply about that whole stock market nonsense. That's a story for a different day too.
Yeah.
But like every big name's down there.
Crispy was there.
Bo Martano was down there. East meets West. You know.
They had a bunch.
Hoyt had a
Lancaster Archery.
They're huge
thing.
Huge.
I bought arrows day too.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're not shooting, if you just want to go down there, I mean, you can run into somebody. Like we had a talk with a dude from Tethered, owner of Tethered, one of the other.
He's one of the OGs.
One of the OGs of Tethered.
Carl Kasuth.
Cool ass dude.
Great dude.
And like, no one's afraid to talk to you down there. No one's afraid to share knowledge. And I think the gatekeeping is like a thing. It's some kind of weird stigma that doesn't exist there, which is awesome. Like everybody down there like wants to help you.
Yeah.
Like everybody down there wants to like just be a bro, and that's what's awesome about it. Like, you know, just like we said.
I think honestly the event's been around enough that maybe the assholes have shot it once and they've moved on.
Yeah.
Like those assholes have shot it and they were miserable probably all day because they're not 12 ringing every other shot, you know. And that's the pace is pretty good. We were waiting a little bit, but I mean, think about it. This is the second biggest event of all of the archery shoots. I think there's like 10 or 11 events they do a year all across the country.
Yeah,
we're the second biggest next to the like main event,
the HQ event in
the
Utah.
HQ, like the one and only. And you know, almost 4,000 people move through there in a week, in a 4-day period.
In I guess central western, whatever you want to call it, but
central southern Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Podunk, Shithole, Seven Springs.
But really, Seven Springs, middle of nowhere. Ligonier. I mean, look up Ligonier.
Yeah.
Look at the population there.
And it's a shithole ski resort at that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like some Black Diamond resort or anything like that.
Right.
But,
and people come from all over the place. New York, like we said, Cleveland area.
Yeah, we had dudes with Cleveland. Dudes from Philly in front of us, dudes from West Virginia behind us, and guess what? Every single person there was cool.
Yeah,
we were talking shit.
Jersey came down there.
We were talking shit with dudes in the group in front of us. You know, they were chirping, laughing back with us. We were saying something about leaving a ham sandwich at Target 10. Guys from West Virginia, like I was shooting the camera, so I was bullshitting with them while you guys were walking up, and you know, like that's what's awesome, and that's what I need to see that. Like I like that like, you know, makes me happy to see dudes are just about it.
Mm-hmm.
And wants everybody to be having a good time. Like I want everybody to have a good time.
Yep.
I want everybody to like be on the same, you know, that's cool to see dudes from, you have no idea who these motherfuckers are. But they're like, yo, you fucking whiffed, you know, like, or, you know, whatever. That's awesome. Like, that's awesome.
It's also one of the only events 3D wise, I think, that you show up and the main focus of going is like the shooting part, like the challenge of the shooting part.
Yeah.
Where like even Camo cares. Really, we're fundraising for something bigger. Like the event afterwards that's what you're there for. You shoot because that's part of it. But we're not there just to shoot 30 targets. That's not the goal or reason why we're going, right? But TAC, you're going to TAC to shoot. Everybody wants the experience of shooting TAC.
Yeah, I mean, you ride a freaking chairlift, a ski lift.
So cool.
Up a mountain.
Still makes me nervous, but...
if you've never been to like people that have skied, like my snowboarding dudes out there, if you've never been to Seven Springs in the summer, you're missing out too. Like, it is beautiful.
Yep.
It is beautiful. I mean, granted, we got lucky with the weather this year. So lucky. 72 degrees. Bluebird skies. I mean, it was a little windy, whatever.
Last year was like 98 degrees, so.
It was miserable last year. I mean, it was beautiful still.
Yes.
But it was miserable in its own way.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you're riding up that thing and you're just looking right at the sky and you're like, wow, dude, I'm not at work.
Yep.
I'm not getting bitched at by my wife.
You're basically in the middle of nowhere.
I'm in the
middle
of nowhere, and I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, as soon as you get put on that, it kind of like resets your mind. Like, hey, man, this is pretty damn cool.
I've hunted some game lands not far from there, and there are some big woods out there, boy. You are in the wilderness.
Once you start the closer you get to State College, the more in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Which is where Penn State is for all my out-of-staters.
I mean,
all three of you.
That's pretty eastern, but that whole central PA area is like deserted.
Desolate.
Yeah, that's the word.
Desolate.
Desolate.
Yeah. I mean, you take the interstate out there, and then like all of a sudden it starts to get real hilly, and then like
there's nothing.
Boom.
Yeah,
you're there.
Yeah, but good event, good shoot. Another year, another tack down. That's it, man. That's all I got, man.
That's all I got. This is episode question mark.
Yeah, Sabelli's been missing for a while, so I'm getting kind of nervous.
Sabelli's MIA, but he's probably cuddled up with Hank upstairs.
He might be. My dog's missing, and I better get up there.
Well, we're going to drink a couple more sodas and a couple more of these like brown, small glasses of tea type things. Yeah.
That's my cheers.
That was really loud. You're welcome. Hey, stay the course, my dude. Cowabunga it is.